Hey, welcome back everyone. Ever since the very end of the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans around the world have been very intrigued about the future of the Star Wars franchise by Disney, Lucasfilm, Bob Iger, Bob Chapek, you name it, and exactly what the future of the franchise is going to look like in comparison to what I like to call the Kathleen Kennedy era of Star Wars. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Disney Star Wars is that yes, we do know that they are currently in a phase of desperation and damage control to really get the ball rolling again when it comes to Star Wars. They have already over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects in the works for Disney Plus alone. That's just for Star Wars TV shows in and on themselves, and that really does speak volumes. That tells us, the fans, that not only is, of course, Disney very ambitious with Star Wars, but they are also trying to get as much material out there as possible that's going to be full of quality. And that's the key here, is that they have to actually have quality projects that are going to make a lot of sense to the audience that watches these new Star Wars TV shows, movies, you name it. Now, with that being said, we do know that George Lucas, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni are all working together as a team to really deliver as much authentic projects, right? And that's the great thing about, what's going to happen in the next couple of years, is that we're going to finally be able to see what Star Wars is going to look like without Kathleen Kennedy's input. In fact, a prime example is The Mandalorian Season 2, that actually had no indication of Kathleen Kennedy throwing in her ideas or interrupting Jon Favreau in any way, shape, or forms. However, what's really intriguing of all has to do with actress Brie Larson and the untitled new Leslye Headland Star Wars TV series. Now, with the Skywalker saga now over, both Disney and Lucasfilm have been developing their brand new Star Wars universe that is set to introduce a brand new mythology to Star Wars fans around the world. Now, it's explained that both Bob Iger and Bob Chapek are developing many techniques to reunite the Star Wars fandom. However, one Star Wars TV show that the fans are against is the Leslye Headland Star Wars TV series that actress Brie Larson is said to be attached to within the Star Wars universe. Now, it's explained that Brie Larson is going to portray a new character named Maeve in the new timeline of the franchise that will involve her character being more powerful than both Anakin and Rey combined. This was an idea by both Kathleen Kennedy and Leslye Headland in order to create the most powerful character that is a Jedi in the Star Wars franchise. Let's stop right here for a second, because this already sounds like that this entire idea of making Brie's character powerful than by far, Anakin, Rey, and others out there, it just seems way too out there and way too unrealistic, at least in my sense. When we look at everything that happened in Star Wars Legends, that was basically Luke's role. He literally became the most powerful Jedi to have ever lived. I mean, Luke went through so many different techniques and so many different powers that he learned. I'm sure that if you guys read the books, the novels, and the comics from the 90s leading all the way into the early 2000s, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So when we go ahead and take a look at what they are doing with Maeve, they're obviously doing what they did with Luke in the expanded universe. And that, to me, I think is very much unfair. I think at the very least, Luke deserves to be labeled as by far the most powerful Jedi to have ever lived. However, I wouldn't worry about this too much, because I don't have a doubt in my mind that George, John, and Dave are just gonna make Luke stronger than ever before, even more so than Maeve in this new Leslye Star Wars TV show. Because keep, in mind here that we've also got John and Dave working on Luke Skywalker's return in multiple projects. Now, further, it's noted that Brie Larson's character Maeve in the series is set to go on a journey to discover an ancient Force power that will be stronger than both the dark and the light side of the Force. The series is set to involve Larson to use the technique of flow walking, which is essentially time travel to find clues in the new Star Wars show in order to discover this new power in the series. So this is another thing that I do not agree with. I don't know about you guys, but by creating a third power, you got the light, the dark, and now there's going to be something else. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is just overcomplicating things now. You got the dark, you got the light, you got good versus evil. Now we got this new power coming into play here that Maeve is actually set to actually discover and obtain and learn about in this new Star Wars show. This sounds like to me that Leslye Headland is just really trying to aim way too high and trying too hard to be original, where in reality, you know, you could just latch on to what George created and kind of take things off from there. It seems like that she's really trying to create her own thing from the ground up, and I don't think that this is going to work with a lot of fans. I don't know about you, but to me, this just seems a little too out there for Star Wars. So not only will the show include a Jedi Civil War, but that it will also involve a brand new enemy that will emerge from a brand new galaxy that once encountered the character Maeve. The series is set to establish that Maeve's power is what the new enemies sense and what brought them to this new known galaxy in the Star Wars franchise. Leslye Headland is said to be in the process of hiring new directors and/or writers for the new Star Wars show in order to get things going when it comes to filming in the spring of 2021. So next year is when they begin filming the show. So far, it's still on. You know, so far there are no major complications that's going to lead it to becoming canceled. But I do believe, and I would not be surprised if it does end up getting canceled. Make no mistake, this show is going to be full of woke culture, and they are going to embrace identity politics and all that nonsense that a lot of fans out there are really tired of. This show is, yes, going to take advantage of that, and I think that's where it's going to fail. So beyond this, alright, this plan by Headland is to essentially make Maeve stronger than both Luke, Anakin, and Rey all combined in order to up the stakes of the game in the Star Wars world. Maeve is said to be connected to the Wills, who are godlike beings that will guide her throughout the series in order to allow her to discover this new power that outperforms the dark side in order to destroy this new foe of the franchise. It's said that Maeve is said to also have different levels of her own power that will evolve and be explored in the franchise. Leslye Headland is said to also be taking some ideas from director J.J. Abrams from his original version of Episode 9 by including the Lost City into the mix underneath the surface of the world Pasaana that will form a nostalgia from the Star Wars sequel trilogy films and what J.J. Abrams had put together back in 2019. Now, Kathleen Kennedy so far is said to be very happy with the project after some rewrites were put in place in order to regulate the new Star Wars show. Brie Larson is set to begin training for the show to get in touch with her new character. Now, this new series will also use some of the Star Wars Legends worlds that will actually make them go into the current Disney canon of the franchise. Leslye Headland is said to be on a mission in order to also undo some of George Lucas's work that he established in the current canon of the Star Wars universe to create an original project. So, once again, guys, like I say, I think that what Leslye Headland is trying to do here is that she's really trying to go way too far to do original aspects of Star Wars. Number one, I don't agree with the Jedi Civil War. I think it's a little too out there, in my opinion. I don't know about you guys, but a Jedi Civil War, we talked about this not so long ago, is that it just kind of goes against what the Jedi really are and what they stand for. And by making a group of Jedi going up against another group of Jedi, I feel it's just gonna be a little too out there. I just feel that, you know, you might as well just have Jedi versus Sith at that point, right? So, beyond all of this, like I say, I think that this show that is still set for release at some point in time in 2022, I think that a lot of fans are going to deny this project, given that, yes, Brie Larson is going to have some form of control, mind you, over the writing of the overall script. She's going to have some form of control of how her character is going to be portrayed, and you can only imagine what that's going to look like, you know, on Disney Plus once it's filmed and once fans actually are able to actually go ahead and watch this. The other thing that I do want to point out that I think is very important is that Leslye wants to undo a lot of work that George Lucas already established in this new Star Wars universe. So that's one thing to keep in mind here, is that George Lucas's work, some of his work will be erased in this new Leslye Headland Star Wars TV series for Disney Plus. Again, I think that that's very much irresponsible of her. I think it's disrespectful to George Lucas. But we will have to wait and see exactly what this show is really going to look like once it arrives. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thank you. From night to moon we hear their moans again. No.